Hello, my name's Scott Fromey and welcome to Backwoodsman Institute. Well, here what I'm doing today is I'm planting a row of potatoes. And all I did so far was I put my string line out and I took the hoe and hoed out a little trough or a little row about a few inches deep for me to put the potatoes in. So once I got the potatoes on the ground, then that pile of hay that's over there, I'm going to put on about 4 inches of hay over the top of it. And the reason why I'm going with hay instead of just keep mounting up dirt on these potatoes is these potatoes are the red potatoes and they're an early variety. And these are what I'm going to be eating just as new potatoes. You can start eating potatoes just as soon as they're done with the blossoms. That's when you start digging them up. So I got them cut in the way I want them, and I'm putting them about every 8 to 10 inches apart. And like I said, as they bloom and they're done blooming, I'm going to start digging up a little of them and kind of spacing it out a little bit so that they can finish out the growing. But I'll be eating off this row of potatoes, you know, for quite a good while. And by not healing them like you would normally, putting a straw in and covering them with straw, that way all I have to do is push away the straw and dig up or gather the potatoes as I need them and put the straw back over there. So that's the way I'm going to be doing my new potatoes. The white potatoes, or the bigger potatoes that I keep, that's the ones I'll be planting like a normal row and then healing up with dirt and mounting it up and finishing them out till they're done growing and then digging them up and putting them in the root cellar. So like I said, for the new potatoes, this is the way I'm doing it. I got them cut up. Let me show you a little bit about cutting up potatoes. So when you buy your seed potatoes, they're going to come as small potatoes, kind of like these two are here. This one is a little red variety. It's an early variety. This is your white potatoes, kind of like a regular, the two potatoes you'll find in the grocery store. But like I said, this is an early one, and I mostly eat this as a new potato, as they're growing when they're small and fresh and new. And these, the white potatoes, I'll let them grow to full maturity and maybe store them or keep them best I can. These keep, whereas the red ones don't keep very long in a root cellar. Now when you go to cut your seed potatoes, you can see that these already got 2 eyes that are starting to sprout out, but there's other eyes around there. When you cut your seed potato, it's best to have maybe at least 2 eyes. I know a lot of my grandpa and dad, they like to cut them down to just 1 eye, but I like to leave as much of the meat of the potato as I can to kind of help it get started. So like this one, I'll just take my knife and go ahead and cut it up to make sure that I got at least 2 eyes on every little piece of potato, and that's the ones that I put in the ground. So that's how you go about cutting up your seed potatoes. One of the other things too is to remember when you're cutting up your seed potatoes is you don't want to cut them up too far ahead of time. I like to cut mine up just right before I plant them. That way you don't have to harden it or let it dry. I just go ahead and cut them up and put them right on the ground, and plant them. I got the potatoes all in the row. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them up with a little bit of dirt just to help them get situated and get a good start. I know a lot of guys that just put the plants or the potatoes on top of the ground and then mound them up with the hay. Either way works fine. I elected to do a little row and cover them up with just a little bit of dirt. And like I said, I'm going to put the I'm going to put the hay over the top of it, at least 4 inches thick. As the stalks are growing, I'm gonna mount some more hay up around it, you know, and it'll probably be pretty high by the time they're done blooming. And like I said, when I can start harvesting the potatoes they eat. So go ahead and get this row covered up and start putting some hay on there. Okay, I got the row covered with a little bit of hay. Now, because I put it in the ground, I covered it with a little bit of dirt, I'm putting a little less hay on top of it. I don't want it to put too much on that it stays too wet and too cool. If you do that, then the seed potato is going to rot. So it's got a fine line a little bit. I just covered it a little bit. Once the stalks start sprouting up through the hay that I got, I'm going to add to it. Now, the hay that I have been sitting on a pile down at the farm for a good while, and it's already starting to break down, and it's kind of wet already because it's been raining. But if you're using like new hay or new straw, you want to time it so that it's right before a good rain. That way it makes it wet and it keeps it in its spot there wherever you put it. So we'll finish this up here. And that should do it as far as putting out this row of potatoes, and won't be long that I'll be able to eat me some new potatoes. Catch you guys later.